Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
We are going to be talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 14, Episode number 6. But before we jump into that, I just wanted to acknowledge the wildfires in California.
Awesome.
And Bozma was one of the victims who lost her home that she had, got on her own and built, and it was her dream home, and now it is gone.
Yeah.
It's so sad for everybody.
It is very sad for everyone that's, suffering during this. And my understanding is they're still not under control. There's still some fires that are out of control, not contained yet. But I did want to acknowledge that and let them know that they're in our hearts and in our prayers.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So the episode title for this one was Venom in the Viper Room. So I think that's appropriate, right?
Yes, very much so.
We start out with Garcelle talking to Jade about modeling. And Dorit was watching Phoenix dance.
Well, wait, can we acknowledge the fact that Garcelle ran off about 5 black supermodels and her son had no idea who she was talking?
Yeah,
like when your mom is a supermodel and you don't know the other supermodels she came up with?
Well, I don't know that Garcelle was considered a supermodel. I mean, she was a model, but she was an actress. I think she was more known for acting, wasn't she?
I think
I
she started out as a model, but I considered her a supermodel, but she had one of the first covers, I think, as a black model.
Yeah, he's young. These kids today.
And he's a boy.
Yeah, I guess the boys don't really pay attention. I'm sure if she had a daughter, she'd know.
If she had a daughter, maybe she would be more apt to know some of these people's names.
He was like, oh, I don't know who they are. I don't know who you're talking about.
Right. And we see Dorit is watching Phoenix practice her dance, and her son Jagger is with her. And we had talked about that a couple weeks ago. She was phenomenal when we saw the clips of her performing.
Yeah.
Sutton calls for Avi, which is pretty much a daily occurrence with Sutton. I don't know.
Sure, multiple times a day.
I don't know what she would do without Avi, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we see Boz goes on a date with Keely.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been dating for several months. I was surprised when she said that they were in a long-distance relationship. And she said he lives in San Diego and she lives in LA. Like, I was expecting them to be, out of state. And I know California is a big state.
Well, I have the same thought, LA to San Diego, but I did look it up. It is 2 hours.
And who knows with traffic.
Necessarily, I don't think, well, that's true. That's true. That's without traffic.
With traffic,
so
yeah.
That really could be a 3 or 4 hour drive.
When I was dating my husband, he was only really 45 minutes away, but I considered it a long distance relationship because I didn't see him Monday through Friday.
Yeah, Eric was an hour away when we started dating.
To me, it was long distance. So I guess it just depends on what your thought of long distance is.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think that is long distance. That's just me, because Bill and I were over an hour away too. So
yeah.
I think if you have to get on a plane or leave the state, but like you said, everyone's got a different perception of that. And they talk multiple times every single day. I like the setup that they had on the beach for their date. I love a beach date, especially when you show up and everything's there.
Oh, that was nice.
Oh, yes.
That was real nice.
That's my kind of date.
Yeah.
Keely asks Boz what she's looking for, what she would like out of a relationship. And thought this was kind of an intimate conversation to be having on camera. Myself, good for her for doing it. She said that she was looking for a level of honesty and consistency. And she had told us in an earlier episode that she was swindled. She was, what's the word? Catfished?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I would understand her being a little bit, gun shy for something like that. She also asked if he considers, when he's dating, is he dating in consideration of marriage? And he said, yes, that's the only reason I date. Which, again, at their age, at that stage in life, if that's not why you're dating,
why bother?
They need to be all on board with that, right?
If that's what you want, it's interesting to me, though, that that's a question, because from her, because if I was as established as her and successful as her, I don't think I'd ever want to get remarried. I don't personally think I'd ever get remarried, anyway. So I did think that was interesting.
Well, obviously she is thinking about, maybe it's it
Yeah.
definitely must be something that she is at least wanting to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of those weird scenes where I was like, oh, like, this is so cute and it's nice. And then all of a sudden I was like Wendy said, like, this is a little like,
Yeah, like, I don't need to know
going
this
on?
about you guys.
Like, what? Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was thinking that it was real for a minute. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, like, is this? Yeah, because it was like, I got that thought, like, well, what do you, I don't know. It was just one of those odd housewives moments for me where I was like, oh, yeah, I'm watching this. And that's really just all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we see Erica and Sutton meet up for lunch, and not Sutton, Dorit. Dorit. I don't know why we have Sutton.
Because they're talking about Sutton.
Yeah. Dorit lets her know that her mom just got there, and she's really happy because she felt like she was holding on to everything on her own. Like she felt like she was keeping everything together all by herself, because PK's really been not present, and at least now her mom is there and she feels like she can breathe a little bit. So I was glad to hear that.
I just wanted to say that when they're at the restaurant, you can see in the background when Erica first gets there and she's just getting ready to sit down at the table, there's a restaurant worker that's in the scene in the back. And he is just the look on his face is he is just like ogling the shit out of them. He's like so into the eye candy. But it was just really funny because I just spotted him out of the corner of my eye. And I'm like, look at you.
That's hysterical.
That is funny. So she's also talking about that today was Phoenix's first of 2 ballet shows that she had, and that she was the lead, which we found that out in another one, because that was another one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Monday, her and PK went to therapy for the first time, and she really didn't like the way he was speaking to her. And we've seen that before. Like, he's
very condescending.
Yeah.
He's very condescending. He always has been very condescending.
Yeah.
So after the therapy, Erica asks her if, she's like totally done. And she's like, I don't know that I'm totally done. But after the way he reacted, because he wound up leaving, he wound up walking out.
4 hours, like a 4-hour therapy.
4 hours. Could you imagine? I think I would get up and leave too.
That's
4 hours
lot.
Is a long time.
That's a long
why would they
session.
plan a 4-hour therapy session? Like, what are you thinking?
Maybe it didn't start out that way. Like maybe
it,
somebody private came to their house and it just kept going and going.
Yeah,
and going because they weren't getting any result.
Yeah, I don't think they have like, come to my office and we have a 1-hour therapy scheduled. I think the therapist gets paid so much money that they're like, whatever, like however long this takes. I think that's a luxury that we don't even know about.
Right. But when they start talking about how Sutton kicks people when they're at their lowest. And I was thinking in my head, I never really saw it that way. But then they do the flashbacks and it was like, damn.
That's what she does. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I never thought it, but watching that, it's hard to not think that.
Right.
And I think too, with the way that PK has been so condescending to her throughout, I think that's part of her lashing out now too, is that she's over it. She's not, I think that her people around her are receiving some of his backlash.
Well, she found her voice.
Yeah.
So now it's not just going to be her voice with PK. It's going to be her voice with every interaction she has.
Right. But what I'm saying is I think some of it comes from things that a reaction that she wants to have towards him, but he's not necessarily there for her to have it. It's like some of it is a spillover. It's not necessarily that I'm not just going to take any more shit from anybody. Some of it is a spill. Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah. And then we see Garcelle is in the car with Oliver, Jade, and his girlfriend, and OJ, Oliver's son. And they're headed to her new house.
I love that he named his son Oliver, but would you give your son the nickname OJ at this
Nope.
point?
No,
Nope.
I
It
know.
totally threw me off. I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's why when Garcelle was saying, "Oh, thank God for OJ," talking about her Oliver,
Grandson.
right? But
Right.
talking about Oliver's journey, and she's
Right.
like, "Oh, thank God for OJ," and I'm thinking, like,
I
OJ's
know.
trial, like I just felt lost for a
know.
second there. I was like,
It was
"What?"
like weird to hear.
But I think that house is so important to her because she, bought that house like probably all on her own with
Yeah.
nothing to do with her husband's money. Like maybe her house that she's in now, the other house, like maybe part of it came from like her divorce settlement or,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But this beach house is like totally nobody.
Hers.
Her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she built
Like,
it.
yeah. Like
She
she
knocked
made
it
the
down.
decision. She
Yeah.
knocked it down.
So
Every
every
decision
part of
was
it,
hers.
right?
Yes. Yeah. And good for her. In her confessional, she's talking about how she's in a really good place with her son, Oliver, and that he has dealt with some addiction issues in the past and that she has felt a lot of guilt over it because she had to, practice tough love. And she talks about a night, it was dark and her girlfriend was there and he's banging on the door and she knew it was him, but she didn't want him to come in because she knew that he wasn't in a good place and she had to, just let him go, which we all know as a parent is the hardest thing that you have to do.
Absolutely.
Not knowing, is he going to come back? Is he going to be okay? Is he going to hit rock bottom?
Yeah.
But not enabling him, which is what she would have been doing if she did open the door,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah. I thought she said, I think she was saying too, like she could have let him stay in the pool house, but she was like, no, not even that.
Right. Because again, it's enabling. It's not even, it's not that she couldn't do it. It's that wouldn't help him, like he needed to find his way.
But still, that's a horrible decision to have to make.
Oh, 100%. It's a horrible decision. I give her a lot of credit for one, doing it, and two, talking about it.
Yeah. Because it's like reliving it, talking about it.
It's like reliving it, and it helps other people who are going through that same difficult situation because it's out there. It's all over the place, So it makes her even more relatable,
Yeah.
So they were having dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and the baby OJ was sitting there eating, and I was like, "Oh, look, he's an iPad baby." And I'm not pulling a judgment on anybody at all, but I just think back to when I was younger. Like, there's no, like, you couldn't even have. You could have nothing at the table when I was there was nothing, not a bulk, because we didn't have an iPad. Nothing. You were there to eat dinner and talk to your family, and that was it.
And I was thinking about it, and again, no judgment, I don't care, but I was thinking like maybe because they were filming, maybe they gave it to him just to make sure he'd stay quiet while they were filming.
But I've just seen lots of people of this generation.
You go to a restaurant, kids his age are all looking at some screen, whether it's their mom's phone or their own device. Yeah.
And I even look at it back for when my child was younger. We didn't have enough,
Oh,
so she had a book, she had a stuffed animal, she had a little toy dinosaur, fairy, whatever she had that she could bop around with. But even just the succession of what I grew up with, what my daughter had, and now what children this age have, it's just
crazy.
I mean, we used to go to a restaurant when we were kids, and it was not often we'd go, but they'd give you the crayons and your little coloring book or your placemat you could color.
Yeah, and that was like woohoo.
Yeah.
When Tess was little, we used to go to Chevy's a lot. We loved Chevy's, and they would give crayons, but they also give you a little round thing of dough. And Tess and Eric would sit there the whole dinner
playing with the dough,
make things out of the dough. Yeah, I always thought that was the coolest thing, that they gave them the dough.
I was even talking to my friend that I went to see, stayed overnight, and we were talking about how, I don't know if you guys remember, but here in New Jersey, we used to have a restaurant in our area called the Ground Round.
Yeah.
And
Peanuts
they
on
would
the floor?
have they would give you a bowl of peanuts and you would shell them. And when you were done, you would throw the shells on the floor. Can you imagine nowadays with the
Oh,
peanut allergies, how crazy?
yeah. That's probably why so many kids have a peanut allergy. Because we were all eating the peanuts at Ground Round. That was right across from Ocean County Mall, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yep,
Yes,
I
yes.
remember. Were you guys a little surprised about how much Dorit was sharing about their therapy session?
Well, she shared it with Boz about the therapy.
We didn't get there yet.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, we didn't get there. So that's kind of what happens next. She goes over, she's at her house and Boz comes over to her house and Boz gets to meet, her mom and her children and her dad was there. She starts telling her about the 4-hour therapy session that she had on Monday with PK and that, she thought things were going to work out with PK, but when he wound up leaving and storming out, she now has clarity that she needs to be prepared. Maybe this is not the way I thought it was going to be, and I'm not going to get blindsided, and I'm going to be prepared. And you know what? If this therapy session is what took it for her to figure this out, then that's good because she does need to be prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well. If by the grace of God things do turn around or whatever, then okay, great. But if they don't, best to be prepared beforehand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but she did admit that PK said that in the middle of therapy said, this is why I don't want to be married to this woman. Those
Yeah.
are harsh words.
Yeah. That was. Yeah.
That's tough to hear.
Yeah.
So Boz tells her that she was surprised about the interaction that she had with Camille at the Denim and Diamonds party. And Dorit's like, well, that was a long time coming. And it was a long time coming because, we know her history with Camille, but obviously Boz had no idea. And Boz is like, I'm not sure why Kyle even invited Camille. And we talked about this. And Dorit's like, she invited Camille because,
Stir it up.
Yeah, exactly.
For
Exactly.
sure she did.
That's like how Boz said in her confessional that she said, I don't know if it's passion, delusion, or psychosis.
Right.
These
Yeah.
women, when they get together, they're just
Yeah.
always at each other.
And did Kyle invite Camille or did production invite Camille?
Well, one never knows, does one?
Yeah.
Just like last year when Denise had her jacket on upside down. Did Kyle really invite her over for that dinner?
Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows is right. And then Boz also brought up about how Sutton said that you're not angry at me, you're angry at your life. And, she kind of broke that down too. It's like, how can you weaponize words? You say to her that you want to be there for her.
Right.
And then you she has such a short fuse, Sutton. It's like she goes from 0 to 100 out of nowhere.
Yeah. I can be like that too, though. But I mean, that was mean what she said, though.
Yeah, it really was.
And in some ways it is true. But
Right, but there's a way to say it.
right, sometimes it's not what you say, sometimes it's your delivery. And I think
if
I
she
think
said
that
you're
has a big problem with delivery.
Right. If she said, I feel like you're just not in a good place right now, and maybe how you're taking it out on me, but maybe I'm not really the person that you're upset with right now.
It
Yeah,
sounds
but
a lot nicer.
yeah, but if you think about it, and we had talked about this, Sutton did this to Erica, did this to Kyle, and now is doing it to Dorit. So
Yeah, the playback
Sutton-
doesn't lie.
right, the Sutton is the problem here.
Yeah, for sure.
And people are angry at Sutton because of the way that she's treating them. I mean, they can also be angry at their life, but Sutton is not helping it.
Right.
And then we see Erica, she meets up with Martin Lawrence Bullard. He is the designer that's going to help her design her new place. And he says that it is a chic little place and she wants it to represent freedom, sexiness, style. and a new beginning, which I think, those are all great things for her.
Love that cabana she has.
Yes.
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 I love that.
Love it.
So they go into the bedroom and he asks her if she's trying to catch a man. And she says, yeah, definitely. He's like, well, you're not going to be doing that in here. So that was funny.
I liked it. I liked her room.
Because not for catching a man.
It was very neutral, though, but that's
yeah.
What
And then he goes out to that outside area, the cabana area, and he's like, this is like your crown jewel here. Like this,
for sure.
This can be like you could do your next music video here. So I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see
me too.
what this turns out to be.
Yeah.
I also liked that he said, listen, we may not have that $1 billion budget, but I can give you $1 billion style.
Yeah, which is why he's obviously so good at what he does.
Yeah. And I wonder if he's just there just to get his name out there.
Oh, yes. Come now.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, if he's already...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
matter.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's certainly not in a profession.
In Beverly Hills.
And a profession like that, a lot of that is ego.
Well, yeah.
It's not not a stretch at all.
Yeah.
So you're somebody, as oftentimes, if you're somebody who deals with celebrities and stars, I mean, we've seen it before when we did the thing with Matthew Perry, all the doctors that wanted to be involved,
yeah.
You can be very successful and make a lot of money, but oftentimes you want a little bit of that glitter to rub off on you.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, I just saw my sister Patty and she just listened to that podcast. She was like, I loved it. I'm like, oh, good.
Oh, thank you,
That's
Patty.
nice. Yes.
Yeah.
So we find out that Erica is being honored by the GLAAD Association at the Viper Room.
Classic.
Yeah. The ladies are all getting ready to go there and support her.
I looked up people who have played there, and this is just only a few, but it's very impressive. Johnny Cash, Stone Temple Pilots, Lenny Kravitz, The Cult, Cher.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's, this is impressive that she got invited there to do this, I think.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So Sutton's getting ready. Sutton's never been there before, right? Who else has never been there? Jennifer Tilly has been there. She used to play high stakes poker in the back room.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Dorit, has Dorit been there before?
I don't remember if she
remember
said
who
or
the
not.
other person was that wasn't there.
Garcelle has been there. So it's Sutton has never been there before, and maybe
Dorit. Who did Garcelle say she made out with there?
Who did she say? Garcelle is always name dropping. I can't even keep up with it, to be quite honest with you. She is a name dropper.
I remember who she said. She said she made out with
I forgot about it, but now that you say that, it sounds familiar, and I can't remember who it was either.
Oh, well. Good for her.
Yeah, good for her is right.
So we get to the Viper Room, and Kyle winds up bringing Kesha with her.
It was a random duo, huh?
Yeah. Turns out that they met on Instagram and they're friends now. Well,
she's very busy, Kyle, there meeting the people on Instagram.
Isn't that how she met Morgan, though?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We went almost 40 minutes without seeing Kyle in this episode. Did anybody realize that?
Oh, I did not realize that.
Very nice.
I was totally okay with it.
Okay. I did not realize that.
Dorit's
what else?
outfit was
all
amazing.
All I have to say is I was watching this show and I actually frightened my child because I was watching it and all of a sudden really loud I go, ew. Kyle's face when Kesha said Dorit was a fashion girly, it was horrible.
I totally caught that.
My kid was like, what?
She was angry.
Her face was just like a jealous 10-year-old. I was like,
for sure.
Ew.
Yep.
Ew.
That's exactly what she was like.
But I said it out loud, really loud. I think my kid thought there was like a big bug in the room or something. I was like, ew.
So then they're all sitting there at the table. And I think Sutton tells Boz that she didn't like the word weaponized because Boz had used that word to Sutton at Kyle's party. And Boz said, well, when I said when I say that, I mean that you're taking something and using it like to hurt somebody else, something that you know about somebody, and you're using it to hurt somebody else.
And that's what she did.
And that's exactly what she did.
Sutton did not want to hear that.
No.
Sutton does not like being called out at all. She cannot handle being called out.
And Boz was like, well,
No,
that's what I said. That's what I meant.
It's interesting, too, because Sutton a couple times has like made comment about how Boz is always talking to Dorit and like, why doesn't Boz get to know me? And why don't we get to know, like, she's like that, like, you know, like the pick me girl.
Yes.
Like, why, you know, what is it about Dorit?
Because she knows she's not in a great place with Dorit. So now the new girl comes in and she thinks that, you know, it's going to be like a team, you know, teams now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see that at all. I think Dorit just clicked with Boz that first night.
And that's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So what do you
don't
guys
complicate it?
What do you guys think about Erica's performance?
I couldn't even hear the song.
I think that Erica's a great performer. I really do. But I was super underimpressed. And listen, I'm only saying this because I sing so.
I don't know if she was necessarily there to perform or if they were just debuting the song. Because I couldn't really hear the song. And she was only singing it like once in a while. She'd put the microwave.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like.
I couldn't hear it either.
It was very like auto-tuned.
Yeah, I don't think she was there to perform it. I think they were just playing it. And then she was on stage and just happened to put the microphone up to her mouth once in a while and sing the lyrics. That's what I thought.
I don't know. But to me, that's weird. Like, if you're going to premiere, just sing it. Like, it's a small venue. It's one song.
Come on. She's not going to sing it live. I mean, it's all auto-tuned.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, she don't really sound like that. Let's face it.
Yeah. And did you like the outfit?
I thought Dorit.
No.
Looked amazing.
Erica's outfit that she had made and got laced into and blah, blah.
It's Erica's outfit. Listen, I think Erica's over the top. I love Erica's style.
I don't necessarily remember what it is, but I'm sure she looked amazing in it.
She did look amazing.
Like latex and lace her up.
Yeah. She did look amazing. I just thought that she could have looked better.
Yeah.
Why? What would you have done different?
I don't know. I just think that it wasn't really great on her. I think that she's got an awesome body, and I think that she could have had something designed that would fit her much better. I don't know. I just didn't dig it.
Well, she's on a little bit of a budget right now, so.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
But I'm sure she's got some stuff in the closet she could have, in her collection.
Yeah.
She could have dug up.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we're calling our closet nowadays, is our collection.
Our collection.
Yeah. So it was the party that she was at was Posse Pride. It was the Posse. So I guess this must have been I guess it was like in June. So
Probably,
they were getting ready to kick off like Pride Month because she was being recognized by GLAAD.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kind of putting things together at this point.
You're just throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks.
There you go. So Dorit then says to Kyle that she is in an unpredictable state of mind. Like, I don't know where...
No, she said PK is in a very unpredictable...
Yes.
His behavior is very unpredictable.
And that's how she brings up the conversation. Yeah.
Okay.
And had she spoken to him at all?
Right. I'm curious if you were speaking to him. That's right. And she said that, you know, her friendship with PK was just memes and jokes. And Dorit's like, well, when was the last time you text him or he text you? And she had to think about it. And she's like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what she said, a couple days or a week ago. Like, it wasn't
within
like
a week, I think she said.
It was within the week. It's not like it was every day, but it was within the week.
Yeah.
But she did say, listen, if you don't want me to do that, I won't do that. Like, obviously, I'm going to take your side. Like,
she did say that. She said, I'm a girl's girl.
Right. I'm a girl's girl. And if, you don't want me to do that, then I, won't do that. And listen, I thought that was the right thing for her to do.
Yeah, but I call bullshit because on the after show, she flat out said, PK has been a better friend to me than Dorit, which means that you've been doing more than just sending memes and jokes. You've been talking. So I think that's
you're
bullshit.
Right.
I think
that
that's bullshit.
does intimate that they are talking about other things than memes and jokes. If she's saying he's been a better friend to me,
Then Dorit.
And I can tell you this, there's no way Kyle would like Dorit and Mo sending each other funny memes.
No.
Not while they were married and not now that they're separated.
No,
There's
and
no
I don't know what
way.
Kyle is talking about. This always happens. PK and I always text it back and forth, even when him and Dorit were like fighting or not getting along. And then later on, we'd laugh about it and then everything would be fine. Well, this is totally different circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what kind of bullshit you're talking about.
Yeah, and then she does go on to say, listen, like he's being so difficult, like he's totally cut off all communication. And we have small children and we're trying to shield them from this. That's when Sutton jumped in and said, you can't shield the children forever. First of all, that was not her place to say that there.
No, it's none of her business.
Right. It is none of her business. I mean,
again, it's your delivery. It's not what you say. It's your delivery. It's all about the delivery, people.
She could have said, that's not going to be sustainable forever.
Right.
So you may want to think about, but even however she said it, but it wasn't the time or place.
It wasn't.
This was a conversation between Dorit and Kyle about text and PK.
Exactly.
Right, where they're both all jacked up.
Dorit came in hot. I will say that. I thought Dorit came in real hot, but if I was separated from my husband and my friend was texting him, I would, be like, I would appreciate you not doing that.
Right. No, I agree.
Kyle even said on the after show, she said she didn't think that Dorit is really that upset about her talking to PK. She thinks that Dorit is using that as an excuse for her recent behavior towards Kyle.
What behavior? I think that Dorit is tired of Kyle just
getting away with everything Kyle gets away with.
She really does. She just gets away with a lot. So enough.
Yeah. So
and Dorit found her voice.
Right.
And this is who we have now.
Right. What Kyle was trying to say was she thinks that Dorit is using the whole PK texting thing as an excuse for how Dorit has been acting towards Kyle lately. Like she's just trying. No, that's not it at all.
No, it's not. It's definitely not it at all. It's definitely not it at all. And, as they're having this conversation, Erica's sitting there and she's like, we're doing this now. Meanwhile, you had talked to her earlier in the night on the phone and you said, okay, well, you can ask her tonight. So, I mean, when did you think she was right? What did you think it was going to happen?
Exactly.
Right?
This wasn't going to be la-di-da.
Right. You are on a reality TV show that this is the premise anyway.
Right.
And Dorit does say, I didn't plan to shield them forever. That wasn't the plan. But right now, when we're still figuring it out, we don't know what's going to happen. Why get them upset?
Well, yeah. If you don't know you're going to be divorced, it's different with Kyle and Mo because their girls are so much older.
Right.
They are so little, her kids. Don't upset them if you don't have to.
Right.
And of course, if you tell them that you might get divorced, they're going to be upset.
Yeah. And on the after show, Dorit even said, she said, hey, look, she said, PK's been an alcoholic for a long time. And the time that he's been an alcoholic, he's been using alcohol to cover up lots of feelings. So him getting out of where they're at now is going to take a lot of therapy and a lot of time. So I think that's why she's trying to be holding off on. Her hope is that through therapy, he will change his mind because he will let out all those feelings that he's using alcohol to cover up for all these years, kind of thing. So I think that's kind of where her head was at. And she was like, you know what? Ask me in 6 months. Maybe I'll have a different opinion. But right now, she feels like he's starting this therapy kind of journey that I guess she's hoping will lead him to some kind of realization about ...
Right. Yeah.
And that's kind of where Sutton and Dorit, then it goes from Kyle back, it goes over to Sutton and Dorit because, Sutton says, well, we had this conversation on the boat and Dorit said, the same conversation when you said I could lean on you, and Sutton said, yeah, I meant that. I meant what I said. And Dorit says, so should I believe that judging by your actions? And then all of a sudden, that's when Sutton starts like flipping out.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops, I dropped my notes. Hold on. I turned the page and I dropped my notes. And then she's like, what have I ever done? You're like, what have I ever done to you? And then Erica says, well, I think you insulted her. Because then Erica jumps in and, you made her feel low at Kyle's party. And she did.
Yeah.
And Sutton's yelling and saying, you were angry and I was defending you. And Dorit's like, why would you think calling the person who's kicking you while you're down and screaming at you? Like, why would I call you? You're the one who... And she is. She hasn't...
Yeah, I mean, after they left Kyle's, there was no way Dorit was going to call Sutton for any kind of...
No. And then Sutton's like yelling, forget it then. Then we can just be cordial at the table. And Kyle's like, okay, can we start that now? Just be cordial at the table now.
Yeah.
Because, she didn't finish her conversation with Dorit. Kyle said, I want to say this now, regardless of the situation. I feel like we've made a lot of progress, meaning her and Dorit. And I do think that they did, up until that point, I do think that they did make progress.
Yeah.
But then I guess when she realized about the texting, she just felt a way about it, which she has every right to feel.
And now she's going to bring it up. She's not going to forget about it because she found her voice and.
And then Boz jumps in and she said when she heard about it, she thought that it was breaking girl code. And then Garcelle jumps in and said, would you have a problem if your man was texting one of us? And Kyle said again, if it bothers you, I don't need to do that. But she said that in the very beginning too. Like,
yeah,
and then she said it again.
But the problem is that it shouldn't even be an issue. You shouldn't have to say to your friend, hey,
yeah,
can you not text my husband? Because
right.
Once things started to go really fucking south, she should have just texted PK and been like, you know what? I really can't.
Or just not respond. Just don't respond.
Just
don't
stop engage.
Right. Don't engage.
And tell Maurizio, like, listen, next time you talk to PK, just tell him, like, I can't, out of respect for Dorit, I'm just kind of, I'm just cutting it off for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
that's all.
So that's the point, is that you shouldn't, she acts like, well, if you don't want me to, no one should have to tell you that they don't want you to. You should just not do it.
Right.
Which is true. I mean, it is true. Then Dorit says, it's not actually that, like, you didn't tell me. It's that she felt hurt by the whole situation between Kyle and PK. It's not that Kyle didn't tell Dorit that PK was texting her. Her and Kyle weren't talking. They weren't friends at the time, and she felt hurt by the whole situation. And Dorit says, you need to be clear about that. Because before that, Kyle says, well, then I'm done. That's when Kyle is like, that's it. She's like, then I'm done. And when Dorit says you need to be clear about that, I thought, and I'm glad she said that, I thought Kyle meant that she was done trying to make this situation okay. But she was saying that she was done with the friendship.
She was done putting the effort out.
Right. Not that she was done trying to explain the texting. And she was just done. She was done.
Well, I don't think Kyle's the type of person to put any kind of effort necessarily into her friendships.
I totally
Either they
agree.
are or they aren't. Either you're on the Kyle wagon or you're not.
I think she's got her sisters. She's got the other one. What's that woman's name? I can't stand her. So
Faye Resnick.
Yeah, that one. She's got her. And like, she doesn't have any genuine relationships with any of these women on the show with her.
Yeah.
I think she and Lisa Vanderpump were probably good friends before the show started. But other than that, I don't think any of them really,
Yeah,
really matter to her.
I question her depths of emotional depths in outside relationships besides her children and her husband. I just don't know that she's interested or capable or whatever.
I mean, living in Beverly Hills your whole life, or, being from that area your whole life,
Yeah, that whole
you're not going to meet, like,
superficial
it's not people like us.
Yeah, I got you.
So we're going to have to wait and see what happens, because that's really when it goes south, when she explains that, I'm done. I apologize to you. I said, I'll stop talking to him. Like, that's not enough. And the jury says, well, I want you to stop raising your I want you to stop raising your voice and listen to me. And she starts yelling, like, you don't get to scream, F you, F you. And all of a sudden she gets up. And then Erica is there. And that's kind of where it ends. Like, I don't know, because Erica did talk about it on Watch What Happens Live. She initially said, like, I've never seen this happen before, like someone lunged. And then she said, no, lunging isn't the right word. She's like, she just kind of stood up.
Yeah.
But
she just started to get in the space.
I mean, I think Dorit started like waving her hands around.
And she just got up a little bit.
She stood up. And I don't think we have ever seen that on Beverly Hills. We've certainly seen it on many other franchises, but not on Beverly Hills, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we haven't.
So we're going to have to wait and see. I mean,
Remember when Teresa said that to Melissa in the middle of a reunion?
Yeah.
Pretend you're on Beverly Hills. And Melissa was like, you are not Beverly Hills.
Yeah. I mean, we still have a lot to go. We're only on episode 6. And, you know, we do know that there is a time, and I don't know when, but Kyle does walk off and she says she quits. So that's still to come.
Yeah, she leaves. They're at a spa or something.
Yeah, they're at a spa or something. Yeah. And she's like, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. And she literally does walk off. And in all the years, you know, all 14 years that she's been doing it, she's never done that before.
Yeah. I do believe they're okay now, though, because one of the podcasts I was listening to said that they post on social media together. So that's good.
Thought they were okay too, but I'm interested because what Lori said about what she said on the after show. So the after show is now.
Yeah.
Like they film that now, not like the confessionals, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'll come up at the reunion, that's for sure. A side note, we did get an email that our sprinkle cookies are getting ready to be shipped.
That's awesome.
So we'll do an unboxing.
All right. We will do an unboxing. All right. So I think that's it for Beverly Hills, unless you guys have anything else.
Nope. No.
All right. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening.
Bye.
Bye.